sagging door is super frustrating. It hits when you close it. You can see the large gap right here, and it's tight over here, so you know it's sagged, and you may even have to lift it up to close it. How annoying. This is a problem with exterior doors and interior doors. I'm going to show you a simple solution. Now, at some point, gravity always wins. Either the screws have come loose, or they're stripped out in the holes, or the hardware itself can become bent. Look at that. Now, sometimes you get lucky, and with a handy dandy pair of pliers, you literally can just bend the hardware back to the hinges, and you can counteract that sagging area. Hinges can and do bend and sag and contort out of position. So sometimes you will have to force a hinge back into proper alignment. It's best to remove the door and the pin so you can move the hinge back first. But I've done this many times and this will work. Now, if you want to protect the finish on your hinge, go ahead and put any kind of a protective cloth on there first before you put the pliers on there, and then you'll be able to move that around without damaging the finish. So again, what's happening is downward pressure because of gravity. The doors are sagging on the lock side, and they're pulling away up here on the hinge side. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to pop off the storm door real quick and see if I can straighten that out, or if any of the screws are loose. Okay, with the storm door removed, I can see the problem. Now, sometimes you'll get lucky and just the screws are loose, the hole stripped out. I'll show you another method later in the video on how to deal with that. Or you can take pliers and literally counteract that sagging movement and bend it back into position. In this case, it's just too loose entirely, and I see that this piece is getting loose as well. So I'm going to secure that back tight. That should lock it in the upright position so it's firm again and the door should stop sagging. Okay, a new strategically placed screw right there to draw everything up tight again. And I also took pliers and kind of manhandled this back again. So that should pull everything up tight again. To rehang this door, the hinge actually locks in that metal strip, and then you screw it in place. Okay, we're tight over there. The door is closing fine without having to lift it or adjust it each time. So we're good to go there. Now, if you have a problem with the interior door, I also have a quick video and trick for that. If the door is misaligned, it's sagging, it's out of plumb, often over many, many years, these hinges actually get bent. Let me show you what you can do. Okay, every door hinge I've ever seen has a handy dandy pin on the top. Sometimes you'll observe that the hinge itself is bent, and that's why the door is being pulled either to the left or to the right. And you'll have to adjust that, which can be done. Or if you think it's too much damage and too far bent where you don't want to mess with it, go ahead and just replace the hinge. If you do replace the hinge, take the old hinge to the hardware store or big box store, because they do come in several different shapes and sizes. This is a common problem with screws that get stripped out in the hole. With interior doors, often the screw holes will get stripped out, the door will start to sag, it gets worse and worse over time. Remove the screw. Now in that hole that's stripped out, you gotta fill it somehow. What if I told you it's literally as simple as a paper clip, or how about a bread twisty tie? Anything with a thin wire can be installed in the stripped out hole. When you screw it back together, it will hold forever. So here I'm going to take the paper clip, insert it in the hole. It bites nice and tight, and then just take wire cutters and snip that right off. Hey guys, this was a rapid repair you did yourself. I knew you could do it. We'll see you next week.